The report we're doing tonight is a bit off the beaten path from the sort of topics we typically cover, but we decided nonetheless to do it because we think the topic merits a lot of attention. There is this entire world that most journalists don't know about, primarily because they're too old to pay attention to it, even though the people who dominate the world in terms of influence and the like are infinitely more famous and therefore influential than virtually anybody that journalists do pay attention to. And that's the world of online streaming. Many of these people have millions and millions and millions of followers and fans all over the world, typically within the age group of 12 to 24. And so they often fly under the radar of what corporate media pays attention to. The most famous among them are on the level of pop stars or A-list Hollywood actors in terms of the amount of fame that they wield. And yet most journalists who are over 30 don't even know their names, let alone know anything about this world, and it receives very little attention. Although given the influence it wields, it deserves to. And one of the sites that is one of the newest players on the scene has exploded very quickly because of enormous amounts of money behind it, and his name is Kick, which has become a streaming competitor of Twitch. Twitch, for a long time, was by far the leading platform for people who spend all day streaming. They play video games, they talk about politics, they talk about culture, and millions of teenagers and young adults all over the world watch these people. I'm talking about tens of millions of fans. Twitch is owned by Amazon, and it has become increasingly repressive, like a lot of big tech has, and so it's driven away many of its top stars, and a lot of them are now going to this platform called Kick, which is offering enormous sums of money in order to lure these very well-known and influential content creators to their site. And because Kick has such sketchy and I think repellent practices and is really doing a lot of damage in the world, I just want to bring your attention to some of those practices, and it's something that we intend to report on as we dig more into it. So first of all, Kick really became known to corporate media outlets just recently. In fact, within the last month, here you see a New York Times article on June 16th of 2023 reporting on one Twitch star, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, who goes by the name XQC. He signed a $100 million deal with Kick, a rival platform to Twitch. And that $100 million, obviously, is the kind of contract that major NBA players get. Here's what the New York Times said in the subheadline. The deal signed by Felix Lengyel, known as QXC, matches traditional athletes' contracts and is another sign of Twitch's tense relationship with its top streamers. Quote, Felix Lengyel, a Canadian known online as QXC, is signing a 2-year, roughly $70 million contract. That's $35 million a year he's getting paid, with incentives that could push the total to about $100 million, said his agent Ryan Morrison. Mr. Lengyel's deal, about as large as the 2-year contract extension signed by the Los Angeles Lakers' LeBron James last year, could shake up the economics of the online entertainment world. Now, the obvious question is, even if he brings with him millions of viewers, as he's almost certain to do, his audience is enormous, I'm certain they will follow him wherever they go, how will Kick possibly monetize his audience enough to justify a $100 million contract over the 2 years? And the answer is they can't, they won't. There's no way they will. The most generous explanation is that this is just a loss leader, that sometimes new sites pay very influential people to come and produce content for their site in order to bring attention to it, to bring new users to it, and they know that they're going to lose money on that individual, but the game plan over a long term is to win that money back, gain that money back by having these people grow the site. The problem is that they're paying many of these people, maybe not $100 million, but others $50 and $60 and $70 and $80 million, people whose names you probably don't know if you're over the age of 30, and yet people whose fame is off the charts for younger people and who wield enormous influence. They stream all day long, 6 hours and 8 hours and 10 hours a day, and these kids just sit and watch them and are obviously influenced by what they do. That's why they command so much money, not just because they bring eyeballs with them, but because they can influence people's behavior in all sorts of ways. The issue has arisen that a lot of these people are making a lot of money because they are encouraging their viewers, including very young people, to go and use online gambling sites. This has been going on not just at Kick, but even before that at Twitch. So here you see a Washington Post article from December of last year reporting on this tension, and it reads, top Twitch creator endorses platform connected to crypto gambling site. And this is about this person who was on Twitch, one of the top creators with millions of followers, who now is going to Kick. And here's what the article says. Tyler Trainwreck's Nicknam is a gamer and gambler with 2.1 million followers on the live streaming platform Twitch, known for his sense of humor, honesty, and occasional controversy. Nicknam 31 says he wants to eventually launch his own live streaming platform that would let content creators keep 95% of revenue while the company keeps 5%. And told the Post he has investors who believe in his vision. In Monday's statement, Nicknam said he would be advising Kick.com, another streaming platform, in a non-ownership role. He linked users to his Kick account, which accrued 8,000 followers overnight. In a message to the Post, Nicknam confirmed a connection between Kick and Stake, the crypto gambling website Nicknam uses on his stream. So Stake is a company that owns a crypto casino. You take your Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency and you go to this casino and you gamble your digital currency online. Again, if you're an adult, have fun, have at it. That's absolutely your right. But the idea clearly here is to take this young audience and monetize them by turning them into gambling addicts. So you have people being paid $20, $30, $50 million to encourage 14-year-olds and 16-year-olds to take as much money as they can get their hands on and spend it playing blackjack all day or other games of chance. The Post continues. He said that Eddie Craven, whom he described as an owner of Stake, was an investor in Kick. He added that the people behind the site liked his ideas and his Twitch following, so he was able to join as an advisor. Kick confirmed the news in an email, writing that Craven, quote, is involved in Kick, though Stake itself is not an investor. No comment, but 100 more questions, Graham said, when told Nicknam had confirmed Stake and Kick were connected. For now, Kick.com's community guidelines confusingly say they don't allow gambling, quote, with other users. Nicknam said the site hasn't been updated with the real terms of service yet. Now, there has been some talk within these kind of digital outlets that cover this world. And again, I want to stress, I know if you haven't heard of this site, if you haven't heard of these people, this might seem trivial. It's anything but. This is a huge industry of many hundreds of millions of people influencing kids in all sorts of ways that do fly under the radar, precisely because most journalists are too old to have heard of any of these people or pay attention to any of what's going on here. So here's one of those digital sites called Analytics Insight, which in March of this year had this article entitled, Is Kick.com Just a Vehicle for Stake's Online Casino? And it reads, quote, what sets Kick.com apart from other live streaming platforms is its close relationship with the online casino Stake.com. As mentioned earlier, Trainwreck and Ed Craven are popular names linking the companies. However, many have raised concerns that the success of Kick.com is not solely based on the quality of its platform, but also Stake.com's financial interests. They believe Kick.com may be merely a vehicle for the online casino to reach a wider audience. First, there is no denying the connection between Kick and Stake. Trainwreck confirmed the same in his Washington Post statement, saying that Ed Craven has invested in the newly formed platform. Like any other company, Stake.com is using Kick.com as an advertising channel. Stake sponsors streams on Kick, with the streamers paying chance-based games on its site. Of course, given Stake's reputation in the marketing sector, you can understand the critics' concern. Ed Craven's company has been very aggressive in his marketing strategies. So let me just show you a little bit of what this looks like in actual practice. So one of the most, I guess you could say, famous and influential streamers is someone by the name of Aiden Ross, who is a Jewish kid who was raised in the suburbs and yet has adopted this kind of posture of hip hop and developed and cultivated relationships with a lot of black athletes and hip hop artists, and has become enormous, has a gigantic following of young people. And he went to Kick from Twitch early this year or late last year for a contract that is in the tens of millions of dollars. And what he does for most of his time, or much of his time, is he sits online and he plays blackjack at this crypto casino that's owned by Kick.com. So he is getting paid enormous sums of money, tens of millions of dollars, to have his young audience watch him play casino games with cryptocurrency while he obviously is very excited by it and influences and encourages others to use it. So let's just take a look at just one excerpt of hundreds of hours that you could watch of him doing this.
Because I know a lot of you guys that watch me, you like literally don't have jobs and shit, and like, no, listen, because they're kids. You guys are bums. No, they're kids. No, you guys are kids. Like, you guys are in high school and shit. I didn't have a job in high school.
And for anybody who doesn't know, who's new to the streams, 10% of whatever Aiden ends up with.
So, chat, I'm gonna let you guys talk to me, bro, because chat, I'm trying to get you guys to 150 so I can get like mad motherfuckers. Listen, damn.
So that's him talking about his audience, and you hear him saying there that they're kids, they're people in high school, and yet he's being paid by a crypto casino tens of millions of dollars to stream to exactly who these people are. Now, recently there was another influencer who was offered a Kick contract. His name is, his name is Rice Gum, and he's probably one of the most famous streamers on the internet. And here he is describing the fact that the contract that he was offered by Kick requires him, he rejected this contract, but it requires him to spend hours online gambling at the crypto casino owned by Kick. That's what these contracts are for, according to him.
I had the Kick deal in front of me. I had the Rumble deal in front of me. And the Rumble deal just looked better, bro. Maybe they spent all their bread on XQ and Aiden, I don't know. But, like, they wanted me to gamble, like, 30... Oh, well, like, I could stream, but in order to make the most possible on Kick, they wanted me to gamble, like, 30 days or something. I don't know. Whereas Rumble, they just want me to make content. They can, like, you can actually post vids.
Now, there are some legal issues here that I don't want to opine on too definitively since I haven't seen many of these contracts, although I've seen a couple, which include what he just described, that they require this kind of gambling. I don't know if that's true of everyone, including the people I've named. I haven't seen those contracts. But what I do know is that these creators get tens of millions of dollars. They then go on to Kick.com and they spend hours gambling in front of their young audience. There are definitely legal issues in terms of whether a influencer is in the United States and promoting online gambling or engaging in online gambling while on U.S. soil. That can create all kinds of legal issues. Here is the kind of content where he's actually in personally a casino, Aiden Ross is. You can go to his page on Kick and just watch, just select any kind of stream, and he's usually playing digital crypto gambling. I don't know if we have any of those videos or not where he's doing this, but this is him in a actual physical casino.
Come on. I know you did. I know you did.
Look at this!
What? What the fuck am I looking at? Every time you have a blackjack, he has it.
Oh my god.
Yo!
How fucking mental is this?
4 or 5. Come on. Come on, this is it.
This is a big one for us.
Bro, please, bro. Right here. 10 right here, right here, right here. Bust. Bust.
10.
What? Oh my god, bro.
We just pushed on another fucking 21.
I can't believe this shit.
That was $120,000 right there. We just pushed on again. Kids, don't gamble.
Nah, this is bad. Yeah, this is bad.
Don't gamble. It'll fucking melt your brain. What the fuck is going on?
So there you see, I mean, and of course, they know that there are a lot of kids in the audience watching. That's the point of what their popularity is for. Now, just to conclude some of this reporting, because like I said, there's some things here that are kind of unclear, and then there's other parts of it that seem very clear. Here was an article from the Michigan Daily that was headlined, Aiden Ross sets bad precedents for Twitch gambling, and it talks about how even prior to going to Twitch, he would frequently promote cryptocurrencies and also promote gambling to his audience. He would just sit there and play online gambling for his young audience. There's all kinds of talk about how various things influence children, how gender ideology and woke ideology are influencing young people. Whatever you think is the worst thing that you've heard, this is something that is at least in that category. And the fact that there's tens of millions of dollars being paid and this kind of money being passed around to obviously lure children, lure kids, and even young adults into a lifestyle of gambling addiction, I think is something that's sketchy and ethically grotesque at best and repellent and legally questionable at worst. So thanks for watching this clip from System Update, our live show that airs every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern exclusively on Rumble. You can catch the full nightly shows live or view the backlog of episodes for free on our Rumble page. You can also find full episodes the morning after they air across all major podcasting platforms, including Spotify and Apple. All the information you need is linked below. We hope to see you there.